the theory that I've chosen that would be effective for intervention of increasing the human papillomavirus vaccination. That would be to the target population would be Black mothers. That would be the ones making the decision for young teens who are able to receive the vaccine. So the theory of planned behavior was first created by social psychologists by using the framework and constructs of the theory of reasoned action, which both are to predict an individual's intention to do a behavior at a specific time and place. So the theory of reasoned action started out with 4 constructs, which are beliefs and attitudes that led to intentions, which led to the behavior. However, the theory of planned behavior came in when, or was created when perceptions of a behavior's control, or similar to self-efficacy that some might be familiar with, or it doesn't include environmental factors, but it includes someone's ability to achieve an action or a behavior and get through whatever might be put up against them to achieve that behavior, which could be different factors. So that is the controlled beliefs, which is indicated in green. So for example, within HPV vaccinations, it might be a parent's belief that they have, that their insurance covers that. Or it might be their belief that they're able to make an appointment or make both appointments. So meaning that they can take off work to go to those appointments, or that they have the ability to drive to or get to the appointments, or that they're eligible for it. So knowledge does factor into that, but it's their belief of their control of the behavior. And orange is the normative beliefs, which lead to the subjective norm. And the normative beliefs are the beliefs of family and friends, significant others, and if they care about those beliefs. So it's this perceived social expectations is the subjective norms. So that includes, the important individual. So if there's somebody that is more important to the parent or their beliefs, then they take those people's thoughts in a higher regard. So what's been seen often is repeatedly in research that the opinions of doctors or those trusted doctors, that their belief or their opinions matter. And additionally, it could be possibly family and friends' belief that the vaccination, the HPV vaccine, is going to, or its ability to prevent HPV, or that HPV, as it relates to cancer, or could give the child cancer down the line. Another factor within normative beliefs are, cultural beliefs or religious beliefs within their community. and what they think about the vaccination or HPV, and those then influence the parent's intention, which then affects if they do the behavior or not, which would be the child receiving the HPV vaccine. Moving on is the behavioral beliefs, and that is the beliefs or attitudes held by the parent, what they think. So this would be, if it is influenced by knowledge, so how much they know. It doesn't matter if that knowledge is true or false, but it's the weight of that knowledge and the attitudes toward it. So if the parent believes that the child is too young for the HPV vaccine because they aren't sexually active yet, and that maybe they believe if they were to receive the vaccine, then it would start that sexual activity earlier, then they would be maybe less, and if that's considered negative to them, then they might be less inclined to have the intention of their child receiving the vaccine, therefore their child not receiving the vaccine. The beliefs that the parent hold are impacted by the attitudes or are in conjunction with the attitudes, and that then impacts their intention. So if the parent has a belief that the vaccine is effective at preventing HPV, and they believe that down the line it's going to be good for them, then by having a positive attitude and believing that fact, or believing that that idea, then that influences their intention, which then influences the behavior, meaning that they intend to be vaccinated and vaccinate their child, and then they do follow through with the behavior. So to continue on, there is a study done by Hartwig and others in 2013's Journal of Pediatric and Adolescent Gynecology that looked at the choices of mothers to vaccinate their daughters for HPV. And it looked at mothers' vaccine knowledge and their attitudes and subjective norms and perceived control of receiving the or having their children be vaccinated for HPV. And they did find that there was a significant correlation between all of them and following through with the behavior of vaccinating their children. So there's strong evidence that shows that these attitudes, social norms, subjective norms, and their perceived control over the behavior is really influential for the intervention. It is important to note that there is also strong evidence for Black mothers and them vaccinating their daughters for HPV based off of their perceived community support and those, if it is favorable among their community, and if their trusted doctors have recommended it, and also their concerns regarding the safety of the vaccine was highly identified as a perceived belief. That was a strong, identified belief. And there was also strong evidence that mothers were more likely to vaccinate their daughters had they heard it about the vaccine at church or seeing other Black parents vaccinate their daughters. And there's evidence that the theory of planned behaviors, constructs, and the theory that theorizes that the behavior or the intention, these constructs feed into the intention, which then feed into the behavior, indicates the effectiveness of or the constructs that should be held in high regard and focused on for the intervention. It is important also to note that for the intervention, there's a lot of research done where there's other theories and models used and utilized to develop the communication styles and methods to change attitudes and beliefs. So this one theory shouldn't be used alone, because that is a con of the theory that it doesn't include environmental and economic influences, because those are true barriers. It's accounting for the parents' belief of their ability to face different factors, but it's not accounting for the true barriers. So if they can't take off of work, or they don't have transportation, or there isn't a appointment, those things are out of that parent's control. And this theory doesn't hold hold that as a construct. There are pros to it, that there is a lot of evidence showing that uptake I already mentioned, due to positive attitudes and beliefs, especially around social and future benefits of the behavior. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the discussion.